Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, chaps.
Happy returns, lads.
Yes, 2026.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Yes, hope everybody had a good New Year.
Many happy returns.
It's not Jonjo Shelvey this week.
Great story, by the way.
Yeah.
Where do you remember him from the most, club-wise?
Newcastle, I think.
Newcastle or Swansea for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was at Newcastle where I thought, what a fucking good player he was. First time out.
Yeah.
Didn't see much of him at Liverpool or Swansea, but some boy, wasn't he?
But there were loads of stuff in the press about, he's gone to Dubai for money.
So we thought we'll get on his bike and go and see him. Win-win, innit? we get a few days in Dubai.
Sitting down and hearing about why he's there, and then, just the journey as a whole. It's
Turkey.
unbelievable
Yeah.
story.
God, it still blows my mind with the boots.
Yeah, it was brilliant,
The
wasn't it?
boots were like, of all the things that
That was
I
the
thought you were
biggest
gonna say.
curveball, yeah, the football boot obsession.
Yeah.
New
Right.
shirt? Sorry,
this is
I haven't
new
seen
shirt.
that one, actually.
Yeah. It
Is
was
it?
Isn't it?
Is it bigger than your yellow one?
50, no, it's about the same size. It was on
About.
New Year's Day.
About the same
50%
size.
discount, Tesco.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Needs
on
to
the
go on a
rack.
30-degree wash or else it'll shrink.
Well,
Tesco's bad for that.
I think
one-
that's a bigger size. That's
I
not
think it's
what-
one wear and bin, probably.
double XL.
Fuck off.
Can we say a massive thank you to...
Yes.
Yeah, Happy New Year to O'Neills.
Yep, sponsoring the series and this episode, as always. Yeah, the link's in the description if you want to get yourself a...
Quite a few photos, didn't we? People got them for Christmas presents.
Yeah,
Over the moon with them.
link's in the description
Favourite
if you want to
present?
get an Under the Cosh shirt or sort your own team out.
Yes. Live
also,
shows.
live show tickets are going thick.
Would you
and
say they're like hot
fast.
cakes?
Yeah, very much like hot
cross
cakes.
buns.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not as
so there's not many left because I've had them all.
Fat bastard.
By the way, what is the rule? Camera puts how much on you, weight-wise?
£10, is it?
We're fucked.
Speak for yourself.
I know.
I'm had a good Christmas, losing weight left, right, and centre.
I think I could be the fattest in the corporation.
You think you're
Enjoyed
back
it.
up?
Body fat
You think you're
wise.
back up to your 18%, Jobby?
Yeah.
Get it!
But I've enjoyed it.
Well, should we get Jonjo in?
Yes,
Yep.
please.
Mr. Jonjo Shelvey.
I don't have to say hello in Dubai, and or I would.
Go for the wave.
We had loads of Swansea fans get in touch about. Was there an incident at the end of the Oxford game, arguing with the fans? Was it last game?
Yeah, I mean, I knew the night before the game that I was leaving the club because the club had accepted an offer from Newcastle, but they still decided to play in the game. But and we lost the game, so I obviously had the ump, and because I hate losing, and went over to clap the fans and see someone sort of giving me abuse, and I think my family was sitting like right by, and just said, come round to the other side of the, like, outside the thing. But then I had
Oh, you went for the... Come on, I'll see you
Yeah,
outside.
in the car park.
Yeah, but I got selected for a drug test. So,
Oh, so did you shit yourself?
yeah, pretty much. So I literally just had about 5 or 6 bottles of beer because I could never piss after a game. I'd always have to have a beer, and then I ended up going home with a kit man. And they weren't outside when I got outside, so I had a touch.
Was he game though? Was he up for it?
Yeah, I think so. He had a Stone Island jacket on.
Oh, he's up for it.
But yeah, it's just one of them things after a game. I had the ump because I'd lost the game. I didn't particularly play well, and I'm quite a heated person on the pitch, so it was probably my fault in the end. Do you know what I mean? But it's what it is.
Did you get advice not to play?
No, because Newcastle had been knocked out of the FA Cup already, so I just thought I wanted one more game, and yeah, played the game and I was shit, to be honest. I shouldn't have played in the game because I wasn't there. Do you know what I mean? In the head, and I think you could see that in my performance. So the crowd had every right to have the ump with me, and I apologise for that performance now. But yeah, it is what it is.
Honest answer. Do you think you'd be able to take him or not?
I don't know. I can't even remember what he looked like. Well, I think he might have been a handy fella from South Wales, but who knows?
He's still Charlton's youngest ever player, by the way.
I don't know.
I've got here, youngest ever player. I don't know if this is at the time or still youngest ever goal scorer as well.
I had a good time at Charlton. It was obviously my first club that I played professionally, and I mean, I was saying to you off air that when I made my debut against Barnsley away, lost 3-0, but I played really well. And I actually went into school the next day and was walking around like Conor McGregor, just like giving it big licks and that, going up to all the birds and that. But look, it's if I am still the youngest player, but I know for a fact that they bring a hell of a lot of people through the academy at Charlton. That's credit to the coaches and the way the club's run.
Not sure on the dates, but I've got any of the all three of you played in the same game, Charlton, Preston, I think. Did you say you remembered it?
Yeah, very well. I can remember Mark Hudson saying, I was like, who's this little fucker here? He went, oh, whatever you do not kick him, like we're selling him at the end of the season. Don't fucking smash him or whatever. So I tried my best to, but I couldn't get anywhere near him. But yeah, I can remember it like clear as day.
And there was another one, I don't know if you played in it, when before the game, Pardew was taught, they'd go through the team.
Yeah.
And he said, he got Brown up front. He said, he's all right at holding it up, but he's not going to be a threat in the box. 2-1, Preston.
You scored, yeah?
Scored 2.
Was
Stuck
that
one through Weaver's legs.
That deep?
No, that was Charlton at the Valley.
Was it?
Yeah. And that was 2008.
Did I play in that?
I don't know.
I remember playing against Preston, but I think it was the same year because I remember you playing because I'm always going to remember you.
What do you think? What the fuck is that?
Is that like your debut?
I don't know. That were at home, that.
Was it?
Because you wore the Copers, didn't you? The mixed studs, didn't you?
Oh, aye.
Yeah, I remember.
We both did, to be fair. Yeah. How can you remember boots?
I've got a thing about boots. I get it from the manager here. He's the same, like, his name's Harry Agenbar, and he's like obsessed with football boots. And I was like growing up as a kid, I'd get a new pair of boots and I'd go to bed in them, sleep in them, and weird guy. But yeah, I remember playing at Deepdale and I got dragged at half time because I was so bad. I was about 16 and a half back then. But like, you think the world's going to end because you think like, he's never going to pick me again, do you know what I mean? But luckily he carried on playing me.
We're talking the boots thing. We're talking about a player, championship stalwart, and you went, used to wear Umbro boots, didn't he? I don't know, Jonjo. I can't.
Yeah, when you said about him, I was just thinking, yeah, I definitely remember his boots because that's the thing that I look at when I'm like, I would never like, I didn't know who these players were, do you know what I mean, back then? Because obviously I was still a young kid. But I'd look at the boots and think, is he a good player? And I'd see he's got Umbro, but no, he's not a good player. But then I remember his studs and he went down the back of me, so that's how I remember Sammy Klingen's boots.
That's outrageous.
Yeah.
Imagine him saying us.
They was grey. Yeah. It was grey boots, grey Umbro boots. And they had the tongue with the elastic down the bottom.
Imagine seeing our crusty corpers that just bending up at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
but even now, like I've got obviously the house out here, and I've got my boots in the garage out here, and they're in like a box. And as soon as I go home from training, I'm cleaning my boots. Like still now.
Obsession then, isn't it?
Yeah. I just always have been, and I've always my dad would always make me the night before, because I always grew up wearing black boots. And because my dad was like this thing where if you have a bad game in coloured boots, it makes you look even worse. Where if you've got, I don't know, but that's not even true, but he had this thing about wearing black boots. So the night before games, he would make me polish my boots. And then it's just stuck with me until this day.
So did you always do your own boots, or did you ever have a
No,
young lad on them?
when I went, obviously got higher up to the thing, you'd try it, but the kit man, I've always gotten well with staff members at football clubs, probably better than I have with players. And like the kit man at Newcastle, Tomo, he was, and then even at Swansea, Michael, they'd just never let you do your boots. But I'm talking now, like the club I'm at now at the Arabian Falcons, like I have to take the kit home and wash it myself, and take my boots home and wash myself, and it sort of brings you back down to that
the roots.
grassroots level. Do you know what I mean? And it's quite refreshing, really.
I bet some of them staff members, though, the way that you're talking about your boots, like high standards.
Yeah.
Jonjo's coming in.
Yeah.
Give him another buffer.
Yeah, but obviously I'd always start to do it myself, and then they'd be like, "What are you doing? Go and get your lunch and that." But you feel bad because that's what I was brought up doing. Do you know what I mean? Cleaning my own boots. It's like probably a perk of being a footballer that you get these things done for you. If you like, the higher you go. I mean, I can't imagine the likes of Jude Bellingham cleaning his boots and people like that nowadays. But yeah, it was just something that it's always stuck with me.
I can't believe you remembered me wearing Corpers in 2007.
Yeah, I said this to him on the way here in the car. I said, I remember playing against him. He used to wear Copers with the mixed studs, like because Sol Campbell used to do, didn't he?
I believe it or not, I don't know. I don't have a fucking clue what's all war.
I wore Copers all through my life growing up, and I wore them in a game once, but I didn't have the mixed studs in it. I just wore a pair of Cobras when we played for Newcastle in the Championship against Huddersfield. And we won 3-1, but I kept slipping all over the place. And I gave away a pen, so I put the Cobras in the bin for the last time.
What did you move on to?
I've changed and changed and changed. I wear Nike now, but I've had thingy when the Preds come back out. And then I love Adidas, I love Predators, but I'm addicted to the Nike Phantoms as well.
Addicted.
So, yeah. You ask my missus, she's like, you got a problem, because I'm constantly buying boots.
You're not at the point where you buy the trainer boots, and you go out in them. You know, like
no,
the rubber,
come on,
like the rubber symbols.
Just always in a pair of AstroTurf.
I know what you mean. With a pair of jeans.
I look nice in a pair of jeans, them T&Cs.
Pair of jeans and a shirt.
Somebody did that recently. James Maddison, I think it was. He put a pair of it.
He's tried to bring it back, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it not a pair of Pumas?
I was waiting for you to come over
I don't know the brand.
I swear, it was a pair of white Puma Kings, I think.
Yeah, we had a pair of jeans.
I swear. It's just mad, isn't it? I don't think I could ever do that.
The passion in what you're speaking about, these boots.
Yeah,
it's
but
mad.
It's football. I mean, I've just ordered another 3 pairs off Pro Direct. So if Pro Direct are listening, give me some sports please.
How old were you when you signed for Liverpool?
17. I still remember the conversation. Richard Murray was the chairman at Charlton at the time, and he pulled me into his office with Pardew. Was it Pardew? No, Phil Parkinson at the time. And he said, like, who's your favourite player? And I said, I'm big into, I was literally watched Gerrard my whole life. He was like my idol.
Predators.
Yeah. And like I used to watch his DVD, because he brought out a couple of DVDs back in the day, and I would watch them the night before I played every match. And he said, who's your favourite player? And I said, Steven Gerrard. And he said, next season you're going to be playing with him. And I was like, so I'm off. And then I think they sold me for 1.6 or 7 million, going to 3 something. But yeah, and then I went up to Liverpool. I think the season was still going on I think we was in League One at the time at Charlton, and we was in the playoffs. I went up and signed like a pre-contract, but I wasn't allowed to play for Charlton in the playoffs. I wasn't even allowed to train. I remember going out to train once, trying to train at Sparrows Lane, and physio come running out saying, "What are you doing? Like, you're not allowed to train in case you get injured and fuck the deal up." I was like, "Fuck it all."
Was it Charlton saying that, or was that
Charlton.
orders from Liverpool?
Charlton, because I'd already signed like a thing. So if I got injured, then it would totally fuck the deal up, and I ended up spending like 3 months just on my sofa, I'm just running around the street, because they said there's no point you coming in, just come to the games and watch the games. So it was a hard time, because I was only 17, and at 17 you just want to play football.
The magnitude of that 17-year-old lad, like you said, your idol.
Yeah.
You're now going to be potentially playing with him.
Yeah.
Massive.
But basically, I know you probably would have said yes anyway, but did they basically just say you're going to Liverpool?
Yeah. I think the club needed the the money, because obviously they went from being so many years in the Premier League then to the Championship, and we got relegated in the Champ, and then we was sort of just in that playoff range in League One, and then I think it took another like 5 or 6 years for him to go back to the Championship. So the club needed the money, and I was like a quick sell, if you like. Yeah, it just stopped me playing football for 3-4 months. But I mean, I was going to Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? So it was an honour.
And were you that weirdo and sat in the corner just staring at your hero? Like,
His boots.
Can't even tell you what he looks like. He's looking at his boots.
God, them boots are lovely. No, it's just mad. I always said by the time I finished football, I wanted to play with him and against him, and I was lucky enough to do that. Because I felt if you played against him, you could test yourself on how good of a midfielder you are. But when I first went there, he was spot on with me. And he has been ever since, to be fair. And I ended up, I mean, people think I'm probably stalking him, but I ended up living next door to him. No, the house
Just coincidence.
the house come up for rent next door to him, and they got a really good deal because someone I met in Liverpool knew the owner of the house. But my bedroom toilet looked into his living room, so I was just sitting on the toilet all day. No, but he was like, we used to share rides into training and stuff like that, and he was just top, just a top guy as well off the pitch as well as on it.
and did he know about your fascination?
With the booze,
No, with him.
or sitting on the toilet.
Did you tell him that you're my hero, kind of?
I think he'd know, because obviously when you do interview, I mean, you don't sit in the change room saying to him, "Oh, you're my hero," because my dad always taught me like you respect him, but don't be scared, like don't fear anyone. Do you know what I mean? Go in there and show him who you are, and I felt like I'd done that. But yeah, he must have known that, like he was my idol growing up, because whenever I've done interviews and things like that, they said like, "Who's your favourite player?" And I've always said him.
I don't know about you two, but I had this perception of you that football was just a job for you. But I was wrong. You love it, don't you? Like,
Yeah, I do love football. I mean, I give off the aura that I don't care about football, and they say, I mean, I don't know if you've ever come across Dwight Gow and Matt Ritchie. They say I'm like the busiest footballer there is, because like at the training ground I won't really do much, but then when I get home I'll go into the gym and I'll do a lot of stuff away from the training pitch, and I don't really know why that is. Whether I just like being at home, my home comfort, and doing it there. Yeah, I do love football. Like, I'll watch games constantly. I mean, I've just paid for a subscription out here on a thing called, I don't know if you've heard of it, like a thing called Todd. It's like an app, and they just show the UAE Third League, Turkish Amateur League and stuff like that. And if there's a game on, I'll just watch it, which is a bit sad, really. But
Could have fetched your dodgy stick over if you'd have asked me.
no, it don't work anymore, do they?
I don't know, I never had one. Did you ever clean Stevie G's boots? Look, Stevie, leave them there, I'll sort them out for you. I'm doing my own, so I'll sort them out. But
No, I've never done that.
But you know, like what were you like for them 4 months? Were you like excited, shit in your pants? Because obviously moving away from home
Yeah.
at 17, I mean, obviously London to Liverpool, it's a long old way.
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky enough that my mum and my dad, they weren't together, and my mum would do 4 days of the week with me, and my dad would do the other 3 days.
Right, so
I was always with someone, and mum, they bought me a dog as well, so I had a dog with me as well. So I was lucky enough that I knew that I was going there with family around me, and I mean, it's only 3 hours, 4 hours in the car, or 2 hours on the train, so my mates would come up and et cetera, but I was nervous at first going into the training ground, because, like, no disrespect to Charlton, but you're going from here to here, and it's a big step up, do you know what I mean? But it was one that I felt like I was ready to take, and to be honest, I had no choice, because Charlton were like, we need the money, so you're gone.
Where were you in terms of the level? that you've come from Charlton. How did you find your first?
No, I was all right. I
pre-season and
was
that?
all right. Yeah, I was good as gold. I'd always like, no matter who I was playing against, I'd always tell myself I'm better than that person, even if I'm not. I'd always say to myself, like, you don't need to be fearless of anybody. So I was always confident in myself. Do you know what I mean? So it was like, as soon as I'd step onto the pitch, even if I'd give the ball away and someone would have a go at me, I'd just turn around and tell them to fuck off, because I couldn't give a fuck. Do you know what I mean? I give the ball away, so what? I'll get on it again and try it again. So I knew that, like, I had that confidence in myself, but it is daunting when you like around the training ground, because you don't know anyone. It's like going to school for the first time, I suppose, when you don't know anyone. So
Different level, though, innit?
Yeah.
You know, your idols there at school,
Mm.
and all them players stepping out at Liverpool.
yeah, it is. But like I said, I grew up with, like, my dad especially. He was like, don't be scared of anyone. Just go in and be confident in your
yourself.
ability. Yeah.
Well, like, if a 17-year-old comes into a club I'm at and I shout at him as an experienced pro and he tells me to fuck off, I'm probably trying to pin you up.
Well, let's have it.
Should we get in the car park? Should we get you in the car park?
Well, when we've finished. But you know what I mean?
I remember when I was at Charlton, I was 15 and I was travelling on the bus to an away game, and Dion Burton went to me, "Young lad, make the tees." And I turned around and said to him, "I'll make the tees when you're better than me." And that's just the way I was, do you know what I mean? I just had that much confidence in myself that, like, I'm not anyone's bitch. I'm not a slave, do you know what I mean? So if you show me respect, I'll show you respect, or I'll show you respect, you show me respect, do you know what I mean? I think that's the way life works. Just because you're older, I'm not going to make you a cup of tea. Like, if my mum says to me, make me a cup of tea, I'll make my mum a cup of tea, do you know what I mean? But, like, you have no right saying to me, go and make a cup of tea just because you're older than me in the football industry. Why should I? So I just turned around and said that, and he to be fair, he laughed and went, "Yeah, you're right." and he said it to the young lad next to me, another young lad, and he got up and made the teas. But I'm like, me and him going, don't make the tea.
You might as well met me, you wouldn't know, you little cunt, will you?
But I was like, even like when I was senior pro, I'd never ever do that to a young lad. Like, make him, I know football's changed now massively, but I'd never ever make a young lad do anything, because I see it as it's a form of bullying, if I'm being honest. I know back then it might just be tongue-in-cheek banter, but now if you try to tell someone that they fucking go to HR or do you know what I mean? Or sorry, I've got mental health problem and all this. So now you just can't get away with it.
See, I think bullying to a certain degree helps them, me.
Do you think?
But yeah.
I think
toughens them up a little bit.
Yeah, it probably does, but I think there's certain individuals that can take it. Do you know what I mean? Because if you're picking on a weak kid and like a weak person in his mind, and then you're telling him to do this and that, I just think you're ruining his confidence as well at the same time. Do you know what I mean?
See, I always said in my own mind, I'm doing him a favour. I'm toughening him up.
Convincing yourself.
I see that side of it as well, though. That's the thing.
It's all about the delivery as well.
Yeah.
The ways and means of asking somebody to make you a cup of tea. But
Yeah, make us a
young
cup of
lad.
tea. Make us a cup of tea, please, little cunt. Sound.
I'd say, but give me a game of poker. If I beat you, I'll make a tea.
What was the crack with the Alex Ferguson? Did you have to fuck off or something?
So I still think it was a good tackle till this day, and my dad's got a picture up in his little flat of me coming in, and Johnny Evans, his feet are like 2 foot in, where I'm coming in from the side, but I'm sort of like scissor, and then I think the ref was Mark Housey, and he sends me off. But as I get up, I can see Fergie and the fourth official's here. So I'm thinking this is only going one way. The Dons said, send him off. And then as I got sent off, and it was such a huge game, wasn't it? Like Liverpool, Man U, such a big game. As I'm walking off, I just lost it and said, it's your fault I got sent off, you Scottish CUNT. Yeah, but then I see him after the game.
Made him a brew.
Yeah.
Just polished his shoes up.
Do you want 2 sugars off? Oh. No, I see him after the game and just said, look, I apologise for the way I spoke to you. It was wrong of me. And he said, no, don't worry about it. I like it. And then that was it. And then played against his teams again after that and so got on well with him. I think he just got blown out of proportion because of the magnitude of the game and etc. But yeah, he was spot on. So just don't worry about it. I like that you got that little bit of fire in you.
I think it's a respect thing, isn't it? At the time, nobody speaks like that to Sir Alex.
Yeah.
But you obviously had the respect to go over and apologise.
Yeah, I mean, I know when I'm in the wrong, do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I shouldn't have done it, I shouldn't have said it, but you don't know, like the heat into the match, and I was still 17 at the time, or 18 or something. So it was and I still to this day don't think it was a red card. But yeah, it was got sent off, and as I'm walking over, and it was the point as well, I give him the finger.
Pointed Fergie up.
But then it was all squashed, and then I think I scored in the Europa League because I got banned for the Premier League for 3 games, so I could still play in the Europa League. And we went to Switzerland and I scored 2 against young boys. And then on the Sunday, when I was banned for the next game, I got a call up for England after I'd just been sent off. It's mad.
To be fair, I think I could score 2 against young boys. What are they, under 13s, under 14s? Sorry, mate. Do you know when you're first in that Liverpool thing, the fold, whatever, and you like how you are? Do you think some of the older lads might think he's a little prick, him?
Probably. I think a lot of people who play against me and have probably been on my team think he's just he's a prick. He's an idiot. But then, like off the pitch, they say, "Mate, I'd do anything for anyone." And they say they realise that I'm probably one of the nicest people out there. I'm quiet, keep myself to myself off the pitch, but then as soon as I got onto the pitch, I just put it down to wanting to win. Like I just want to win so much, and I just hate losing. Sometimes I boil over the edge. I think as I've gotten older, I've sort of more matured myself. I mean, I'd even admit to myself I was a little prick growing up. Like I'd mouth back to opponents. I'd use cash shouts, money shouts at players, but it was a way of deflecting. Like, because don't get me wrong, I'd have people say like, "Where's your hair? Where's your hair gone?" And I suffer from alopecia. I was born with it. So like, but people don't know that. They just think that I've got a skinhead, a bald head. But I had alopecia, and it affected me as a child growing up. And like I'd go to school in bandanas and try ointments I'd rub an ointment into my head for, I think it was 3 months, and I'd have to sleep in a woolly hat to try and make my hair grow back. And things like that. So people don't know like what you've gone through in your thingy. So then to get out on a football pitch, like I'd think of the first thing that would come to my mind, and if I'm playing against someone there, I feel like I'm probably earning more of the money than him, because I can't use for like looks wise, because I've got a big nose and big ears and a bald head. So I'd say come and wash my car and things like that, but that was just a way of me deflecting things back because of what people had said to me. Do you know what I mean? Calling me a bald prick. And
that's become a tool that you've had because you've had to deal with that at such a young age. Like.
Yeah, it's just a way of me reacting. I don't mean anything thingy by it. People probably think, he's a big time cunt. But then after the game, like what gets said on a football pitch stays on a football pitch. after the game, you go and have a pint and shake
Yeah,
hands. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it was just I think it was like, as you said, it was a coping mechanism of me being called that and not knowing what to come back with, and so yeah, just and probably be a prick to people on the pitch.
Did you ever have any? You've gone for the handshake after, your traits. It's done over the white line. You weren't having it.
You mean people coming?
Yeah, like after the game, you've gone for the handshake.
No,
forgotten
this is like I've been in football 15, 20 years or whatever it is, and I've probably seen 3 or 4 punch-ups in football in a tunnel. Do you know what I mean? You go off the pitch and people get in the middle and break things up. Do you know what I mean? But I've never had that after a game.
Gents, we've got an exclusive offer. I know you like them. In partnership with our partners for this episode, TalkSport Bet.
Now, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of TalkSport, but what you might not know is that TalkSport have got their very own betting site.
Yeah, interesting.
I never knew that. And they've got an exclusive offer just for Under the Cosh listeners, which is bet £10, get this, buckle yourselves in, get £40 in free bets.
How much?
£40.
Just for you, wonderful Under the Cosh viewers and listeners.
Yeah.
How do you claim it, Chris?
How do you claim it? All you do is go to talksportbet.com/UTC and then you get your £40 in free bets.
Say that again, Chris.
It is www.talksportbet.com/UTC. Links in the description as well if you want to just click away and get them free footy bets in.
Thank you.
One more time, Chris.
I'm not doing it again.
18 plus only. Please gamble responsibly. Gambleaware.org.
What was your favourite game in a Liverpool shirt?
Probably the young boys when
Your goals?
you scored. Yeah, just because I scored 2 goals, or when we played Chelsea at home and I scored a half volley. That was probably the 2 biggest games that I played in. What I found at Liverpool is you'd play a game, do well, one of the big lads would come back with a bigger name or whatever, and you'd be out the team for a few games, you know what I mean? And then they'd throw you back in for a couple of games, and so you could never really get going. I didn't have the patience because I'd come through Charlton and I'd had that thing of playing, do you know what I mean, and playing games. And I went to Blackpool when I first got to Liverpool on loan and really enjoyed my time at Blackpool, and again,
Flying as well, weren't you?
yeah, Ian Holloway played me up front. I don't know how he played me up front, but it worked.
Well, you scored it. Yeah, you scored a shit lot, 6 goals in 10 games.
Yeah, and you get that taste of playing again and playing again and playing again, and then you go back to Liverpool and you're in for a couple of games, and then I know Lucas Leiva comes back, and they'll put him straight back in. Like whoever the manager is, they put him straight back in. So in the end, I just thought I'll leave.
How were you? You talked about how fiery you could be on the field, or about not getting them opportunities to play, like being put in and out. Like you've gone to Blackpool, you've done really well. Was it Kenny Dalglish at the time then? Would you knock on his door?
I'd always go and knock on a manager's door. I was never afraid to go and knock on a manager's door. I'd always just I wouldn't go in there ranting and raving. I'd go in there and say, like, is there anything that I can do better in myself to get me more opportunities, or if I played and then I found myself out of the team but I felt like I played well, go and ask, like, why have I been dropped? But then if I didn't need to do that at majority of clubs, because the managers that I've had, majority of them, if they're going to take you out of the team, then they'll give you a reason why. And I think as a footballer, there's nothing worse than you're played and then you drop, but the manager don't say anything to you. You want to know why. And I think, like, eventually when I do become a manager, which is something I do want to do, like, I think you have to be honest and upfront with your players, like, even if they don't want to hear what you've got to say. Because I think as a footballer, at least like you can get your head around it. You might not agree with it, but you can get your head around it. Do you know what I mean?
Who's been the most approachable manager? And on the flip side, the one that didn't like confrontation?
Rafa didn't like confrontation. But you'd go in to see him and then you'd come out talking about Real Madrid and like what he'd done in his career, and so you wouldn't get any answers.
He don't take his glasses off, does he? And put them in his top pocket at the end of the meeting.
Yeah, he does that.
Just on your way out.
You see, that sounds like that's Rafa's coping mechanism.
Yeah.
Doesn't like confrontation. I'll tell him about my Real Madrid days.
But probably the one that you could go and knock on his door and he'd give you an honest answer is probably Eddie Howe. Or if he'd forgot to pull you aside, that is, because he'd always pull you aside and say, look, I'm not going to play you this week because of blah, blah, blah. But if he'd forgot to do that, then you'd just go and knock on his door and he'd just tell you, which I respected and I thought it was top.
Can you tell that one about when he was at Madrid with Ronaldo?
Yeah, so he was open and honest about it. So I think he was walking off the training pitch one day and loved the story about like the Modric and Ronaldo's and people like that. And he said I called him Ronaldo to my office one day and gave him a USB of, I can't remember the players who he put on it, but like top players, but like defensively they track back for the team and help out defensively. So Ronaldo's took the USB, gone home, put all of his goals on it, gone back in the next day and said, watch that, boss. I don't defend. But like he even said like, what can I say back to that?
Yeah, I think it's half a bit disrespectful from Rafa to give him it, innit?
Yeah, I think so as well. But I think he's probably only trying to get more out of him. Do you know what I mean? And he's another one where he said I tried to tell Luka Modric not to pass with his outside of foot. I remember it because I made a pass from the outside of my foot, and I think it might have been in training. And he like stopped the training and said, no, don't do that. I told Luka Modric not to do that, so Jonjo Shelvey, you're not doing that.
So, like one of his main things and all, wasn't it, Modric? Like,
It was.
Yeah.
his main pass, wasn't it?
Like if you went on Football Manager and see the strengths and weaknesses, it'd be outside of foot. Pass.
You ever see him with no clothes on, Rafa?
No, I don't think I'd want to.
No, that's from the next question. Well, what was it like?
He was all right. He was a nice man, but he'd get you in if you. The lads had a thing back then that if you see him in the corridor, and he'd say if you just had a gym session, you'd come out of the gym, and you'd see him in the corridor, and you'd turn back round and go back into the gym, because if he caught you, you was there for 3-4 hours talking about football. Like you ain't going home for a while. You're missing the kids' pickups at school and everything, because once he starts, you feel bad from like saying, Gaffer, I've got to get out of here. It's 5 p.m, Gaffer. But yeah, he was always all right. Do you know what I mean? But there was one like I obviously told you about the ice cream. He every pre-match meal, no matter where it was, whether it was we had a 12 o'clock kickoff, so you're eating pre-match at 9 a.m. He's got 3 scoops of chocolate ice cream in a bowl. No matter, I don't know whether it's superstitious or whatever, or he just loves fucking chocolate ice cream.
This is a lot of ice cream.
I know. He's a big fucking baby, isn't it?
And then there was
Sprinkles.
another time with Cole Darlow. He was playing Manchester United away in the hotel on the Friday night, and we're sitting at the dinner table, and Darlow's got some prawns on his plate, and he's walked past and just picked the prawn up, ate half of it, and put it back down.
No, Rafa.
That's
No.
outrageous.
He's getting one of them, or a fork even.
But what do you think his thought process was with that? He just wanted a bite of his prawn, or do you think it was like a respect type thing? I can take your prawn 'cause I'm the manager.
I reckon he was just hungry.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that one.
But it's harder to eat half. Why didn't you just have it all? That's
Yeah.
But
having it all is better than
the
eating
king
half.
prawn.
it was the fact he put it back on the plate.
Yeah.
Don't like the legs.
Like, just put it to the side of the plate. Don't put it back on the plate where I'm eating my pasta as well.
And did he say out to him, Carl Darlow?
No, I think he just got back in the team, so he you want some more? Gav?"
Feeding him. Eat a prawn here, Gavin.
Taking Gerrard out of the equation, who did you most admire in that Liverpool squad as a player during your time?
I love Suarez.
Yeah.
I think he's like top centre forward.
Similar temperament on the field.
I think
To
he's
yourself.
worse, isn't he? I mean, he takes
He likes to fucking nash me. He likes to bite on him, doesn't he?
takes chunks out of opponents. I've never done that. No, he was so good. Like, unbelievable player.
Did you know that as soon as he signed? 'Cause he signed in January, didn't he?
I mean, the first day, I think he put the ball, like, Carragher's gone in to press him and he's just make them put it in the top pins. And normally, like, because he's from Uruguay, so normally, like, them South Americans, they take a while to adjust to, like, the Premier League, but he was, like, straight into it, like, nailing people in training. And what I liked about him was it come out in the papers that after, like, a week of signing, there's a picture of him outside Costco's with, like, 324 pack of Coronas walking along in his trolley. And I just thought, what a guy.
He'll do for me.
Yeah. What
what
guy.
boots did he wear?
F50s. But he's like changing colours all the time. I don't know if he's in Pumas now.
Does he still play?
Yeah, he's in Miami.
Yeah.
Is he?
I mean, he can't move now. It's a bit sad when you watch him, really. I mean, but he was a joke. That year when he scored like 3 hat-tricks in the or 4 hat-tricks in the season, he was a joke. But yeah, he's top player.
Coutinho? Did you play him?
Yeah. But when he first come, I said this the other day to someone. When he first come, like, I was thinking, who's this kid? Because he's miles off it. I honestly thought there's no way you're thinking here, because he was like that. And I just thought you're not going to get to the pace of the league. Do you know what I mean? But then all of a sudden he just went like, and he was just unbelievable.
It's right though, because there's small and there's Coutinho.
Yeah, he was really small.
Tiny,
but he was like so slight in his frame as well, which I don't think helped at the start, but he built himself up a little bit, and he was just, I mean, couldn't get near him. Like, he was so far ahead in his brain, do you know what I mean?
Was it your choice to leave?
My choice, yeah. I went in to see Brendan at the time, and I could have gone to Palace on loan because Ian Holloway had just got the job at Palace, and obviously had a great time with him at Blackpool. And then Brendan was like, I said to him, I don't really want to go, but I can't get guaranteed. He said, I can't guarantee you the playing time that you want. And I think I was 21. No, I don't actually know how old I was. I think it was about 20, 21.
Still young.
Yeah. But I had no patience. That was my problem. And he said to me, for me, personally, if I was you, I'd go on loan and keep playing games. But he said, like, you can go on loan to a Premier League club, no problem. So he had spoken to the chairman at Swansea, and the chairman at Swansea said, like, we don't want to take him on loan, we'd rather buy him. Michael Laudrup was the manager at Swansea. So I went down to speak to Swansea and loved Michael Laudrup. Like, loved him, the way he spoke, the way he come across, the way, like, he was describing what he wanted me to do as a player. And I just thought, like, yeah, this is for me.
Hummel. Laudrup used to wear Hummel.
Yeah, I weren't born then.
I'm impressed with that, John.
But
I just remember the Danish kit, Hummel, so I'm putting 2 and 2 together. I might get
You don't know if it's a
5.
fact.
I don't even
best player
Yeah.
in training.
make many boots. Hummel.
I do, but he's taking a punt there.
Yeah,
Best
he
player in
was-
training.
Oh, he was
And what age will he have been?
50 odd, 40, 50. He but he'd take it around 3 players, and then he'd put the keeper on the floor, and then he'd make the keeper stand up with, like, the way he moved the ball, and then he'd put him on the floor, and then he'd just dink it over the but, like, the keeper's only like 19, so his confidence is just gone. And then so you'd go off from the training pitch, and then all you'd hear is his Ferrari driving out the training ground at 12, 15. It was just mad. But what I liked about him was he said, I don't care like what you do, what you eat, whatever, as long as you turn up for me and play for me on a Saturday and perform, then you're fine. And another thing is, in training, he would, like, if you got the ball and you turned back and played backwards, he'd stop the session and give the ball to the other team, because he always wanted you to look forward and play forward, which I liked as well.
I was
Because,
going to say that suit you.
yeah, so like, so I hated playing backwards anyway, so I thought, yeah, I'm going to do all right with you here. And he was just top. And then he tried to take me to Qatar when he went to Qatar, but I was 24 at the time, 23, 24.
Still, I was just looking, that last season at Liverpool, you played 32 games, 5 goals.
At Liverpool.
Yeah.
It's a big call, innit? Is that what you mean?
Massive call.
Leaving.
Yeah.
Say you're on the
I mean, I speak to my
brink
dad now
pushing
about it, and
on.
he says the worst thing you ever did was leave Liverpool.
Was he telling you not to at the time?
Yeah. He said, just if you don't want to be there, then go on loan. Like, go and play some games somewhere else. But I didn't have any patience. If I'd have stayed, who would have known what would have become of it?
Because look at Jordan Henderson. Jordan was going to leave, wasn't he?
Yeah,
At
but
that
he
time,
had a
and-
different mindset to me. Like, he was not happy to be on the bench and wait for his opportunity, but you could tell I like a beer. He don't like a beer, but he was so focused on going to the top. Do you know what I mean? And I felt like I've got more ability than what Jordan Henderson has, but he was more professional than me, and I think that's the only reason why he went like that and I sort of went like that.
Yeah.
But look, I've had a great career and I enjoyed every second of it, but it could have been a lot more than what it was, in my opinion. People might say different, but in my opinion, it could have been a lot more than what it was.
Which manager got the best out of you?
I probably had my best spell in the Premier League under Rafa or Loudrop. Then when I really enjoyed it when Eddie come in though at Newcastle, because he sort of like was so detailed, and I wish I'd worked with Eddie like as younger. But then I got some bad injuries, like towards the end of my time at Newcastle. I had surgery on my hamstring and it just sort of, it killed me really. And then I come back and done my calf straight away. It was the year that they got into the Champions League and they was flying that year. So I knew that I weren't going to get he weren't changing the team either. So, and I don't blame him for changing the team. And then Forest come in. And I didn't want to leave Newcastle because I'd been there for 8 years. I openly said I didn't want to leave. Two of my kids were born in Newcastle. They were settled in Newcastle. They went to school in Newcastle, loved it. Mrs. loved the area. I went obviously down to Nottingham. But I went in to see Eddie and said, look, the Forest have offered me this. Like, they offered me a 2.5-year deal on the same money that I was on at Newcastle. And he said, look, I can't give you that insurances that we can offer you the same. I said, look, I don't want what they're offering me. I just want to stay, be in the building, stay in the area, be like my family are settled here. I said, look, I'd have another year because I was coming towards the end of my contract. And he said, you're going to have to go and see Dan Ashworth. He said, I can't make that call. It's down to Dan Ashworth. And went to see Dan Ashworth and he just said, no. It's like, see you later, you little midget.
So had your mindset changed now then? Because if you'd happily sign another year at Newcastle, even if you weren't going to play as much as what?
Yeah, because I was older.
Yeah.
And I was more thinking my kids, being close to my kids. Because I love my kids and I want to be in their life. Do you know what I mean? I want to see them grow up, and I knew that if I went away, my wife and kids would stay in Newcastle, and they did. So I went away by myself. And even when I went to Turkey, I went to Turkey for 18 months and lived by myself. and it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I ended up becoming addicted to sleeping tablets because I'd get home from training, and to pass the time I'd be sitting in my apartment, and to pass time I'd think, well, what am I going to do now? I was in a city that it was a Muslim orientated city. There was like 3 restaurants. The lads barely spoke English. There was the only 3 things you could do really was go to Starbucks, McDonald's or Domino's, which I knew of. And then...
Not a bad 3, by the way.
Yeah. But like, I'd come home from my apartment, stare at 4 walls with my dodgy stick. And to pass time, I'd just end up taking 3 or 4 sleeping tablets and like pass out until the next morning for training.
It was simply just to pass the time.
Just to pass the time. And it become an addiction.
Just an escape.
Yeah. And I thought if it stopped myself, then I thought if I do that, then I moved to Istanbul, and Istanbul was a bit more vibrant city. You could go out but I was there by myself again, so I'm not one to go out by myself. I hate being alone. And like I thought to myself, it could either go one way or the other here. I could go and drink myself to pass time, and then like drink's no good for a footballer. It's not a good tool. But I thought instead of drinking, like I'd carry on with the sleeping tablets, so that would be a way of passing my time. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not putting on fat.
Yeah.
Drinking pints in a pub. So I'd go back to my apartment from training, sleeping tablets.
What was the extent of that addiction, if you don't mind me asking, mate? Like, how many we're talking over what period of time?
So I'd get home at 1:30, and about 3 o'clock I'd have a bit of food, and that'd be my last meal. And then I'd take 3 or 4 sleeping tablets, and then wake up about 12 o'clock at night, pop 3 or 4 more, and then wake up for training the next day. And it really, to be honest, it destroyed my relationship with my kids, and I was never present, do you know what I mean? Yeah. And this is probably the first time I've ever spoken about it, and I was lucky that my missus is such a good woman that she like kicked it out of me, do you know what I mean? And the kids, like, it was hard because I was coming home from training and the kids would have like a thing on like a school event, like a school play or something, and they would stream it. I'd have to watch it on YouTube, and I just thought like,
yeah,
this is hard work, and I was just so lonely. Do you know what I mean? So I felt to pass time, I'd just take sleeping tablets.
I suppose you've not really got much time to contact them either, then, are you, if you're asleep from sort of 3 till.
But the worrying thing
7,
is that
8.
I would look at my phone the next morning, and like I'm reading back over texts that I've sent, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, what have you sent? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd send the manager in Turkey who don't speak English, like, who I think should be playing at the team and stuff like that. I'm thinking, fucking hell. But believe it or not, I probably had the first part I was in Turkey, I actually had a really good time in terms of on the field. I really enjoyed it, and I got to like had a bond with the fans, but I just knew that I couldn't live by myself because I was addicted to sleeping tablets, and it was only going to go one way.
It's rife in football, isn't it?
It's so bad. It's so bad. I'm lucky that I thought of sort of, I've had people around me that, like family especially, that have sort of really kicked it out of me.
Did you have to go and seek help about it?
Yeah, I did. I went and done that, where is it, the Tony Adams
Spotting
thing.
Chance.
Yeah. I don't mind that openly saying it. I'm not proud of it, but I had to get help, and luckily I did, and sort of saved my relationships.
I know lads that have playing in the Premier League, and they're like, all the lads are doing it.
I think it's just so easy accessible.
So accessible.
as well.
Yeah, from the club doctor.
And I, to be fair, I went looking for him. Like, I found a website online, and you could just put in what you want. And you buy them, and then bosh, get delivered to your gaff. And it got bad. Like, I'd come home from Turkey and for 3 days, and I would go and see his kids, and like they're talking to me, but I'm not present. And then ever since I've got off from my relationship with the kids, it's just gone like bang. Do you know what I mean? So
Did you ever sleep in and miss training?
no, I'd never ever do that. There's been sessions where I've just been like gone through the motions, but I was only ever like that when I was in Turkey. Weren't when I was in England. It was when I was in Turkey, because I felt like I was just so far away from everyone that I'm close to.
Tough to come off them.
Oh, mate, sleepless nights.
Yeah, because we just when you talk about drug addiction or alcoholism, you don't think about sleeping tablets. I know it's becoming a lot more. People are becoming a lot more aware of it now.
Yeah, the only people that know that I had addiction was my family and close friends. But until now, obviously. But it was so hard to get off them. Like, I'd be lying in bed, and my missus would try and stay awake with me to help me through, like the evenings and the nights. But like some days I'd be like, I wouldn't sleep for like 3 days, and then I wouldn't sleep for 3 nights. But during the day, I'd be like finding myself nodding off, and then like even like my missus was like slapping me on the leg to wake me up, and that so I could fight it just during the day. So that night I might go back to sleep, and then eventually
Sort your body clock out.
My body clock come back to normal.
Scary, that, man.
Yeah.
So at any point through the Turkey period, did you not just think, tell you what, fuck this? There's more to life than football.
Well,
what am I doing?
Well, what happened at the second club in Turkey, Arda Turan was the manager, and the club had just got promoted from the first division to the Super League, and I didn't get paid for 4 months from the club, because obviously you hear about the things in Turkey that you don't get paid and that, and then they tried to give me, my payment was split up into 2 salaries, 2 sort of checks, if you like. And they tried to give me my first lot in cash, but it was 4 months late. And I was thinking, I can't take that much money. Like, I can't take that money back to England like that. Do you know what I mean?
It's all right having it, but you kind of fuck all with it.
I can't do anything with it. So, and then the second, it was due, my thingy was due for thingy. If I was due to get another thing, but then like another payment, and then never come. Text the guy who was in charge saying like, when's the payment expected? He'll be here next week. Okay, no problem. Next week come, didn't get paid again. Found another excuse not to pay you. And then in the end I just said, look, give me like half of what you owe me, but I'm gonna go back to England. Like, let's just terminate the contract, because like I'm away from my family doing a job, but you've still got to pay me. Like, it's a contract at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? So then we agreed on a termination thing, and then I come back in like the November or early December. Had Christmas with my missus and kids, and got off the tablets, and then
back home.
Yeah, back home, back in Newcastle, and then Scott Parker called me and said like, come in and do a bit of training and see. We'll have a look at you and see what you like. And then he said like after 3 days, he pulled me into his office and said, look, I know I knew what you can do as a footballer. I played against you. I just wanted to see what you was like as a lad, like, because I've heard you're a bit of a hothead and like on the pitch and that. And he said, but can't believe how quiet you are. He said, you're like so quiet. You just literally don't speak. You just get on with your job and like away from the field. Do you know what I mean? And I said, yeah, but that's just the way I've always been. But I've got this reputation that I'm a hothead because of what I've been like in the past on the pitch. And he said, yeah, but look, we want to give you a deal until the end of the season. But then I think 4 or 5 games in, I literally tore my calf. I think it was like 16 centimetres tearing my calf, and that was me done. I knew I wasn't going to get another deal. Do you know what I mean? So
did you disclose to Scotty Parker that you'd just come back and obviously you had this problem with tablets?
No, I just said the reason why I did come back was because of the payments. So I just said that I just didn't get paid out in Turkey. I told someone at Burnley, like the guy, one of the player liaison officers, and he helped me go through the sporting chance. He's the one that put me into the sporting chance thing.
So that was when you were at Burnley?
Yeah. And then, so I was doing like meetings on a Monday and that. And, but yeah, found it really helpful. Just being able to open up and talk about it, really.
Yeah. I imagine that's the first big relief.
Yeah. Because it's sort of like, you always keep things into yourself, don't you? Well, I do. So, and like to be able to open up, and there was people on there that was talking about the same things, you know what I mean, that you was going through, and it helped put things into perspective as well.
Just go straight in, Chris. NordVPN, boom.
NordVPN, the best VPN service in the world. We're that good friends with her, but I said we'd write a jingle. Well,
You nailed
Not
it.
sure it's going to make Christmas #1, Chris, if I'm honest, but
well, I thought it was fantastic. Yes, another special message from our good friends at NordVPN, who have got some unbelievable offers for Under the Cosh listeners for their VPN service, which it's just second to none. We've been banging the drum for NordVPN for a long time, haven't we? I've been using it for a long time.
loads more people are now using them than what they used to.
Just fulfil my Christmas wish, Chris. Is the security still absolutely bob on?
Watertight. We've talked about it many, many, many times. You've got to watch out for them hackers. You know, when you're on the open Wi-Fi, getting in, sneaking in, getting your passwords, your bank details, none of that with NordVPN. No, you're not coming in. And if you don't already know, VPN service, you can bounce your location to anywhere in the world. You want to watch sports being watched in another country, you want to catch up on Colombian Coronation Street, no problem. Bounce your location over, tappity tap tap.
Or even if you want to watch some of them movies.
Yeah, movies. Works with movies as well. Well, the link's in the description. Click through, get the Under the Cosh exclusive deal and a 30-day money-back guarantee.
Heavy discount.
Or a heavy discount.
Do you know what that is? It's a no-brainer.
Oh, I know. It is a no-brainer.
Was he crackers, Turan?
Yeah, he was lunatic. Absolute lunatic.
In a good way or a bad way?
No, just lunatic. Absolute mental. I mean, I actually watched a documentary on him before I signed. And because obviously knew that I'll tell you another story in a minute, not about him, but it was he was on Amazon. If you watch it, it's about you know, like them Amazon documentaries they do about like Rooney and people like that. He's got one, and there's a video clip of him. He has a fight in a bar, and then I don't know whether he gets done in the fight, but he's gone home, got a gun, and gone into the hospital and tried to shoot the fella. I swear to God, and he's on the documentary. Mad. It's mad. But I mean, you see the clips of him. He takes his shoe off on the pitch, doesn't he, and launches it at the liner and things like that. He's mental.
You wouldn't have had that scuffed.
And he's like, all he wants. You'd walk into his office, and he would go, "John, I love you. I love you." He'd say, "You have whiskey for me?" Because he was just heavy on the whiskey. Like you'd go in there, he'd be like, he'd have his feet up on the desk, cigar and a whiskey after training. Mad. And I'd never experienced that in England, do you know what I mean? But to be honest, I only really went there because they offered me a very good contract. I wanted to go back to the team that I was at the previous year in Turkey because I'd had such a good time on the field, on the pitch. But then that was a newly promoted team as well that season, and it was quite a small team, and we was going for Europe. And we was playing Istanbul, Başakşehir away in Istanbul. And we trained the game was on the Saturday, we trained on the Thursday. And in the warm-up, I've sort of ran, like I've crossed someone. And this lad in training, he ain't done that on purpose, but he's gone running straight into me, into the side of my leg here. So I pull out of training on the Friday, like the lads have gone to train in Istanbul. And I said to the manager, like, I can't train. Like I'm in serious pain. And normally I'd play through anything. And then I said, what I'll do tomorrow is I'll have an injection before the game to try and just take the pain away. So I've had the injection before the game. I go out to do the warm up and I'm still, my right leg is in complete agony. So I don't play the game and we lose 2-0. And that's sort of, it was out of us and them going for Europe. And so they've got like the upper hand there. So then the Sunday, we flew back to Rize. And the Sunday, the doctor said, we need to go and get you a scan. So he said, after the lads have trained, what we'll do is 2:00, we'll drive to Trabzon, like the hospital. And he lives in Trabzon. He says, but I'm having a barbecue at my house. And the scan's 8 p.m. So I'm like, all right. He said, would you come and meet my family? And so I'm like, yeah, I'm by myself. So I go to the barbecue. Mate, he's given me 10. I've had 10 pints in the barbecue, but we've got a scan at 8 p.m. He gets in his motor, paralytic drunk, the club doctor, drives to the hospital. And when you've got alcohol in your system, nothing shows up on the scans, does it? So he's gone back to the manager of the club and said, nothing wrong with him. Like, he's good as gold. So then I'm thinking, I'm not. There's something wrong with my leg. So anyway, there's six games to go of the season. So on a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 9 a.m, 10 p.m, I have 2 injections a day, like to take the pain away. And then two injections a day of a game. So I'm having like 12 to 14 injections a week just to try and get this club into Europe. We don't get into Europe, but I play the 6 games. I think we missed out by 3 or 4 points. And but I'm literally hobbling around the pitch. If you like watch clips of them 6 games, I'm like, can't run. So I have 2 weeks off in the summer. I then go back to Turkey, to Antalya on holiday. Get to the hotel we're staying at, and a guy that I'd met in Rize, he was the analysis guy, but he's got a sports science degree. So I said, and I got on really, really well with him. I said, will you come down and do a bit of training with me? If I pay for you and your missus to come and stay at the hotel, and we'll just have a week's training. So he's come, gone to the pitch, gone to run, and I thought, fuck, my leg's it's not right now. But I'm off injections and things like that by now. He goes, look, we're not doing anything else, because if there's something wrong with you, you're going to blame me, or like, I'm going to get in trouble for it. So let's go to Antalya, into the town, into the city, and let's get an MRI and an X-ray done. So I'm like, all right. So we go to get an MRI done. they said, "Oh, you need an X-ray because there's like your bone's not thingy, like they're not like aligning." So I have the X-ray. I've got a full-on broken leg. Like my bone is just the both of them have just come away from each other. One's facing that way, one's facing this way. And I'd played 6 games. I'd played 6 games with a broken leg, and then for 3 months I was in a boot. So I couldn't then go, and I was out of contract. I had no club. And then I was lucky that this other Turkish club come in and offered me a deal. But I went there, I had no pre-season. Do you know what I mean? I was just in bed in Newcastle like that, in a boot for 3 months.
Nice touch for him, innit? He ain't even had to do any training. He's got a holiday for him and his missus. Perfect for him, innit?
Mad, isn't it? Yeah.
This is going to be a lot of jumping around here, but I just wanted to ask you about playing for Newcastle, you know, because that spell, it was toxic, wasn't it? Especially under Bruce.
Yeah.
What was it like as a player?
I mean, it wasn't a nice place at the time because obviously I actually really liked Steve Bruce. I always got on well with him. He was always good to me. But you just had a feeling that they loved Rafa so much, the fans. So whoever was going to go in there, why Mike was in charge still, was never going to be liked. And the fact that Brucey had managed Sunderland in the past as well probably didn't help. But for me personally, he was good as gold. I mean, I know there's this thing out there that he likes his days off and things like that, but everyone likes a day off.
We all do, don't we?
A few people mentioned his training. Was his training
No, it was always
easy or?
No, it was always all right. I always found it. I mean, probably not the greatest trainer in the world, but he's. I always found him good as gold. I mean, Steve Agnew, he done a lot of the training, and Steve Clements, but yeah, he was good as gold. And you knew that he knows his football. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? He had a top career, so you could never ever doubt him about that. And if you look at the actual where we finished in the league, he achieved the same as what Rafa did. If you look at the actual stats of where we finished in the league, but it just wasn't attractive style of football.
Wasn't Rafa.
But he got the points, and no disrespect, at that time we was a mid-table club. We're the club that had been promoted 3 years ago. I know we was probably expected to kick on, but we didn't have the players to do that, and he just done what he could with that group of players of what he had. I mean, if you look at the squad he inherited, we only managed to bring in 2 players really, in Joe Linton and St Maximum. So in like three years. So what can you do?
And he was crap when he first came, Joe Linton, wasn't
He weren't great.
he? Yeah, like not being disrespectful, he was crap, wasn't he?
Mate, he got a nosebleed every time he went into the penalty box. couldn't score a goal.
Yeah,
but then he turned into this midfield monster. And now look at him, he's just mental what he's achieved.
By the way, we might have been done here, but was there something to do with you breaking up a fight with LaSalle?
Yeah, in training. Yeah, I don't know, all over. It was just Jam and Mo Diame. He was a big lump as well.
2 heavy pieces of kit.
But Jam's like a hard lad. And I don't know what I was thinking, getting in the middle. And I'm sort of thinking it. And one of them's like gone to throw like a punch, and sort of my little finger got caught and sort of bent, and then I just had a broken finger, so I had to play in a cast for 5 or 6 weeks. But it was just training ground stuff. There was nothing in it, really.
But one of them where you thought, I'll tell you what, we'll just give this one a couple of minutes, I want to see this.
I should have. But I think it was one of them where we were struggling at the time in the league. And, you know, like it starts to get a little bit heated and in training and that, and then them two have just come together and had a little scrap, and I've tried to break it up, and I've come off the worst. But yeah, I've seen there's been like I remember one Jam and Andy Carroll. I had
Oh,
one.
fucking hell. I think I might have paid for that. I might have
Jam
paid
and
to see
Andy
that.
Carroll.
Review.
Jam and Andy Carroll had one it was in a bar, but there was no one else in there. It was just us, and it only ever comes when you're on a night out. The only reason people are fighting is because of alcohol. Andy said something. Obviously, Jam didn't like it, but I'm standing. Who was I standing behind? I was standing behind Jam. So Jam's here, I'm here, Andy's there. Andy's threw a punch. Jam's ducked. I caught one straight in the eye. Didn't go down.
Took
I
a knee.
had a little black eye. But then Jam's just like speared him and rolling around, scrapping like for a good few minutes. I said but I'm one of them, like I don't like my mate, I don't like team, because I'd get on well with them both. I don't like people fighting. And but then Jeff Hendricks sitting like there in a chair, he's got a snuzzing and drinking, got his hood up, and I'm like, lad, you gonna help try and nah, let him have it. And I'm like, oh, and then Jams took his watch off and gone, like, will you hold my watch? And I've got his Rolex in my pocket. And then in the end, me and Jam lived next to each other, like back up in Newcastle. And then managed to get Jam in a taxi. He's like, fuck, lost me watch. And I'm thinking, I could get away with a Rolex here. There's a good outcome to this story here.
You've got a better punch.
But I didn't have it in me. So I went, mate, you took it off and give it to me. He went, oh, thank you so much. But then next day, laughing and joking together.
See, I'm giving it a couple of days minimum. You know, like keeping his watch for a couple of days. You know, like
would you?
Fuck
No.
yeah, I've lost my watch.
I just ain't got it in me. I just literally.
You thought about it though.
Yeah, I did it. It was a split second. But he's a lot bigger than me.
You're having it 6 months.
Yeah.
You're a cunt
Psychological warfare.
eBay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Cash converter.
he'll give it back eventually, but it'll be 6 months of panic. I've lost my Rolex. Like, they claim that house insurance and everything. And they say, oh, by the way, there's your watch there. I'm like, no, you had a fight with Andy. Yeah, there's your watch you gave me.
But yeah, it was just stupid stuff. Like, it does. These things do happen. Do you know what I mean? But then the next day, it was best mates again.
I'm going to go for a hangout to Dryer. Yep. Anfield or St James's Park bouncing.
Oh. I'd probably have to say I've experienced European nights at Anfield. So, but I'd have to go with St James's Park. Just because of the sheer fact that I was there longer, and like when we was going for the Champions League, like I never seen a place bounce so much in my life. And when I think we beat Arsenal 2-1 or 2-0, it was like late doors, and we knew they'd got Champions League, and it was just. And I think I was at Liverpool at like a real shit time. I was at Liverpool when it was a bit transitional, and I left a year before the season of when they was going for the title, so I didn't really get to experience. You know, when Stevie slipped, I left that summer before, so I didn't really get to do like that year where they was probably bouncing then. Do you know what I mean? And the times I was at Liverpool, it was just a bit. The club was in a transition period. But one thing I would say is that when you're there on the pitch and you hear the song before the game at Anfield, it's like it literally does. I mean, I ain't got no hair, but it makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. Do you know what I mean? And even when I went back to play against Liverpool, I'd always find myself singing the song just as the game's kicking off, because it's unreal.
What? How many games did you play under that Eddie Howe revival? No, because he came in and kept Newcastle up.
That year, that back end, because I think he came in the January, And his first game, we lost to Cambridge 1-0 in the FA Cup. And it was Kieran Trippier's first game. And he'd just signed from Athletic. He just won the league with Atletico Madrid. And then he played in the game then when we lost to Cambridge. And I looked over at him and I went, "Bet you're glad you signed there, aren't you?" But and then we beat Leeds away. And it was sort of like the turning point of our season. I think when we went unbeaten in 9 games. And it was just mad. And I was lucky at the time. I had the armband then as well, so it was a good time. Do you know what I mean? So I played a big part in that sort of that turnaround.
Obviously, Mike Ashley had a lot of stick from the Newcastle fans. And how was he with you personally as captain of the club? And
I liked Mike. I mean, I'd probably get a bit of stick for saying that, but he was always good to me, and I'd take people at face value. Do you know what I mean? If you're good to me, I'm going to be good to you. He's the one that brought me to the club, so I thank him for that. And he was just anything that I ever needed on a personal level. He was always there. Do you know what I mean? So he's just a very business orientated man. He knows how to make money. Do you know what I mean? And I think obviously it got to a point where he probably did need to sell the club. And I mean, I don't know if you saw the party that they was having up in Newcastle outside the stadium. It was mental. But he was, for me, Mike was always top with me, so I've not got a bad word to say about him.
It's mad because players know. Like we'll have been in change rooms where we're like, the board are an absolute joke. They're a shambles.
Mm.
So for not the first player to come out and say, no, he was actually all right. It's just mad that it's completely other end of the scale. The fans hate him with a passion.
I can see why they hate him, because he probably wasn't investing the money into the club. But if I'm right in saying so, the club had no debt or anything like that. He's always took care of it out of his obviously own pocket. But he was just happy for Newcastle to just be a Premier League club, or if they'd go down, then he'd spend a bit of money and get them straight back up. Do you know what I mean? So it was. I don't know whether it was just a hobby for Mike. Do you know what I mean? Like, and he's not got a penny compared to what the Saudis have. Do you know what I mean? So, and they're the ones that have obviously took the club forward. But Mike was in charge for a long time, and he probably
just bobbing, really.
Yeah, just bobbing along.
Was that not frustrating,
I suppose.
You know, when you're thinking about this season, what like?
Yeah, but probably me being selfish is like, as a footballer, do I want top player to come in who's going to play in front of me in my position? Do you know what I mean? I don't want that. I want to keep my position. Do you know what I mean? So it's probably me being selfish, but I do get why fans don't think it, because he was just happy for the club to just.
Yeah, it's different as a fan, like how he was operating the club to you on a personal level.
Yeah, 100%. He just obviously wanted the club just to maintain Premier League status, because I don't know how much a Premier League club gets, but for staying in the Premier League with the TV rights, etc. But look, he was always good to me, and he's from my neck of the woods back home, so he's always been good to me. So I can't sit here and slate him. Do you know what I mean?
Did you ever see? Did he drink out of the big sort of like mugs as well with his coffee? You know, the big Sports Direct mugs. You know, the massive ones you get like a litre of coffee.
When you buy a pair of boots, you get one for free.
if you go and see him, right?
I bet you've got a few of them mugs, ain't you?
Just sat there with his big mug of coffee.
No, I'd seen him. I'll tell you one story. He come up when Rafa was in charge, and Rafa was trying to talk. Like, we'd all went out for a team meal. So like, Mike's sitting there, Rafa's sitting there, I'm sitting there, Jam's sitting there, and Rafa's trying to talk to Mike about the academy and all this and that. Mike's just like, yeah, so if we stay up, we're going Vegas, lads. Do you know what I mean? So that's just, and he must have drunk like 6 pints in 30 minutes. And I'm thinking, mate, that's some going that. And I looked at his blazer, and he's still got the tag in his blazer. So I'm thinking, he's not taking that back to the shop, surely. And then he paid for the bill. Everyone said thank you, and then he got a chopper back down to London.
Thing is, Rafa must have been fuming if he loves football and wants to
Yeah.
talk about the development at the club. And he's gone, right, lads, stay up and we're off to Vegas.
Yeah.
By the way,
Livid.
you don't even get your money back at Sports Direct. You get it in without. You get a receipt voucher. So if we're taking it back, if we're taking it back to his own players, he only gets a
Do
credit
they
note.
sell blazers in Sports Direct? I don't know. No, but didn't
Probably.
I think it was a time when House of Fraser was still going. So I think he owned House of Fraser as well, didn't he? So it might have been from House of Fraser.
It's like thinking give yourself his money back, wouldn't you?
But he started from making badminton rackets or something like that, wasn't it? In the back of a van. That's how he made it. And then he started the Slazenger thing and all that.
Rafa's
UK
just chucking
high
his
street brand.
dessert spoon down any Rafa.
Yeah. You could put it like that, putting his glasses on.
You could tell that there was like they're not the same type of people. Do you know what I mean? So he was never ever gonna.
We're never going to work with him.
He was never gonna work while Mike was in charge. Rafa was never gonna think, because Rafa wanted to control the whole operation of a football club, and Mike was never going to let him do that. So, what Mike said goes, because he's the one with the money. So,
We're only stopping for a second, gents, but it is for a good bloody reason. Look at that.
That, you holding that up has just taken over from that jacket thing as the best garment on display.
Yeah, it looks
It's
superb.
immaculate, isn't it? Let's be honest.
It feels superb. We've got to say a massive thank you to O'Neills Sportswear for once again supporting the entire series and producing those beautiful garments. If you haven't got one already, put it on the list.
More gift ideas for loved ones.
Yes. Yeah. Well, the link's in the description if you want to get yourself involved with the Under the Cosh shirts, or if you want to sort your own team out, because the quality of kits that you can sort your own team out,
4 to 6 weeks from design to delivery.
and that's designing your own as well.
Yeah, so you design your own kit, they put it together, bosh, 4 to 6 weeks.
Is there a maximum order, or can you order
No
as many
maximum.
you want?
There is a minimum 7, I believe.
7.
Yeah, but no maximum. So you can go from your under 5s teams right through to your first team. Kit the club out.
You're going to be coming out looking smart on that field.
Do you think? Would you
Telling
say,
you
Chris, that you were 1-0 up before the whistle's even been blown?
With them,
Yeah.
2.
2-0.
2-0 up. Their heads have
Whoa.
gone.
That is
Well,
an XL, and I would recommend. We've had a few messages to size up on this new style.
Right, okay.
So I've tried large in both, and the new style was a little bit tighter. So
Is it not just that you popped a few
Especially with
pounds on?
Christmas coming as well.
Christmas bulk.
Well, the link's in the description if you want to sort your own team out. I'll get yourself an Under the Cosh shirt. Just clickety, clickety, click.
Thank you very much again, O'Neills Sportswear.
A few Forest fans asked if you fell out with Steve Cooper at the end, like, 'cause you're not in the squad.
yeah. So what had happened was, I get this a lot. Forest fans, they hate me, and they don't know what went on. They just see what had been put in the press. So we played against Aston Villa. I made a terrible mistake. They scored, and then we lost and got dragged off after 60 minutes. I tried to play out in my own box when I should have just cleared it away. Then the guy that brought me in, the sporting director, he got the sack the next day. I think because of my mistake, because he'd brought me in, and I mean the guy in charge it's like he's got a conveyor belt of players coming in and out.
Is this Marinakis?
Yeah, and then played Wolves at home, lost 2-0. So then we're playing Liverpool away the next week.
Did you play the Wolves game?
No, I was on the bench and didn't come on, and we lost 2-0. And then played Liverpool away the next game, and I'm thinking might have a chance of being back in. Wasn't in the starting lineup. Went out to training on a Friday. The ones that weren't playing was basically mannequins. So like I'm just stood there like I'm freezing my tits off. I'm stood there like that in my hands in my bib like that. And then as I'm walking off the training pitch, he said, "You're not happy." Steve Cooper's run over and said, "Oh, you're not happy, are you?" And I was like, I'm a bit disappointed that like I made one mistake and found myself out of the team. Do you know what I mean? I'd only just signed. And he just said, "Oh, do you know what? Just go back up north." So I got in my car, went up north. Then come out in the papers that I'd kicked up a fuss and I sort of like threw my toys out of pram, which wasn't the case. And then on the Sunday night after they played Liverpool, he rung me and was like, "I'm still not over what happened on Friday." And I was like, "What do you mean what happened on Friday? You said to me to go back up north." He said, "Look, just come in on Thursday." So I'm thinking something's not right here. So I just went, all right. So now I'm training in the park by myself.
How long have you been at the club?
2 months. I'm training in the park by myself. On Thursday, I go into the training ground and I go straight up to Steve Cooper's office. As I'm about to knock on his door, he's come out and he's tried to give me a cuddle. I said, what are you doing? I said, no chance. I said, I've been sitting there training in the park. I've been hammered by fans and press and things like that for something that I've not even done. He said, "Look, it's not come from me." I said, "Like the mistake you made at Villa, like I've just been told not to have you near it." So he was like, "Look, there's like 5-6 games of the season left." He said, "Look, I know that your missus and kids are up north, so just go back up north and just stay with your family. We'll send you a training program so you can train." So now I'm like, like what's going on with my career? Do you know what I mean? I left Newcastle to come here and play, and this has happened.
How long a contract had you got?
2.5 years. And then I've gone back up north, season's finished. And then I reported for pre-season the first day. For 2 weeks I was in the first team dressing room. And then played a pre-season game against, who was it? Might have been Preston. Speaking of Preston. And
Right,
you know, like the first game back, it's like 45 minutes each, and it's like one team does 45 and the other team does 45 minutes. The team are losing 1-0. Come on, score one, set 2 up. Straight after the game, he goes, have you got any offers? Like you can go. We're not going to stand in your way. I said, mate, I signed 2.5 year deal. I'm only half a year into my contract. I've still got 2 years left. So then every day for the next week, he's on at me like, have you had any phone calls? You had any phone calls? But I'm still training with the first team at this point. And then he said, but a lot of the players wasn't back because they'd been on the international break. So then they've come back. And he said, as of tomorrow, you're going to be in the academy dressing room with the under-18s. So then I'm like I've not done anything wrong at this point. And normally I'd hold my hands up and say, look, I've been a prick, but I actually haven't done a physical thing wrong. I've made a mistake in a game where I've given a goal away. So I've gone into the academy dressing room. So I'm now training with the under-18s and some under-16s. And it's me, Harry Arter, and about 3 or 4 others that are just got no chance of being nowhere near it. And so what I'm doing is I knew that they was going to like look for any reason to take money off me. So whether that be turning up late for training or anything, I knew for a fact that they would be straight away find me. And I was training with Warren Joyce. He's like the under-18s manager or under-23s manager. And but I was living in Newcastle now because I thought there's no point in me living here. I'm never going to play for him. So I was getting a train at 6 o'clock from Newcastle into Newark. And then I had a friend in Nottingham, one of my mates, who owns a taxi firm, luckily. And he would pick me up from Newark. I'd go into training, train with the kids. He'd wait for me, then drop me back to Newark, and then I'd go back on the train. I'd do that every day. And then the last day of the window, I had no one come in for me. Like no one in England come in for me. So then this Turkey gig come about. So I was like, I'll go and just play. Do you know what I mean? Get away and play. I want to play football. So I flew out to Turkey. Get a phone call at 10:30. The window shuts at 11. Oh, you can't. You've got to either come back or terminate your contract if you want to go and play, because we've already got nine players out on loan, and the maximum you're allowed is 9 players out on loan. But I'm in Turkey at this point, so I'm thinking, what do I do? Because I'm gonna have to terminate. I'm giving up 2 years, good money here. But then I thought, I want to play football. So I gave up. I just terminated my contract and stayed in Turkey and signed for the Turkish club. Just so I could play football. But then I'm the one getting slated.
Getting all the stick.
By Forest fans when they don't know what had gone on. Do you know what I mean? So
I think I'd have been advising you not to take a different option than that, Jonjo.
Yeah, but I just wanted to play football at the end of the day, and because I love football. And if I'd have stayed there, then go and train with 16 to 18-year-olds in my career, just at least I'm playing football.
Harry sat it out, didn't he?
Yeah,
he got the fucking lot lesson, didn't he?
He sat it out.
I remember like, Harry, he's still at Forest, him.
Yeah. But obviously I was at Charlton with Harry. So he was saying to me, lad, just stick it out with me. Like. He's like, we'd just have fun. And I'm like, no, mate, I want to play football. But like, I remember there was one game we was playing for the 23s. And I've actually got the clips on my phone. And we was playing Peterborough, first team. I've scored 2 goals. Like one with my outside of foot from about 35 yards. I've put it into the top corner. And another one's just like I've driven. And Harry's playing midfield with me, but him and Steve Cooper, like, they just don't see eye to eye. But you know what Harry's like? Harry's like fucking like Jack the Lad. So Harry's shouting to Steve Cooper, Coops, did you see that? How can't he get a game for your team? I'm just like laughing my head off.
You love that, don't you?
He's better than what you got in midfield. That's what he said. I'm like, but yeah, then obviously went to Turkey. And
Did you make the same decision
what's that?
to go to Turkey?
Yeah, I just wanted to play football. And look, since getting a transplant, no, it was, I felt like I made the right decision.
Even with what ended up going off in Turkey with the tablets and that.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I had a great year football-wise. Well, off the pitch wasn't good, but football-wise, I was very good. And I hadn't played football properly for a year and a half because of the injury I had. So I just felt like I just needed a change of scenery and a change of place. And I knew that if I'd have stayed at Forest, then I wouldn't have kicked the ball for a long time in the professional industry. So, but I haven't got a bad word to say about people at Forest. The people at Forest was spot on about me, like the physios, the masseurs. I played with Tate, who's Steve Cooper's assistant, and Tate was always good to me. The player liaison officers, even like Ross Wilson was there at the time. Who's just gone to Newcastle as a sporting director. And like my agent was saying to Ross, like, what's gone on? And Ross was like, he's not done anything. It's just come from the top.
And is he a nutcase? He looks like a nutcase, and
I'd never met him. Never met him.
Marinakis.
yeah.
I never ever met him.
But he's obviously just watched the game and
Yeah, you've seen what he's like after games. He just punches screens and throws TVs and that. But look, it was probably the right decision from him because they ended up going to stay up that year, and then look what they've done now. But look, I ain't got a bad word to say about the people at Nottingham. I just won't be going back to Nottingham ever.
So just on Turkey, do they think it's acceptable not to pay for 4 months?
They do it with the foreigners. They'll pay the local lads because they're not on as good money, but the foreigners they won't. They'll try and everyone that rule under the sun to try and not pay you. I mean, I remember speaking to Wilf Zaha because he was at Galatasaray at the time, and they hadn't paid him for about three months, and he was on a lot more money than what I was getting. Do you know what I mean?
is that because they haven't got a pot to piss in, or is it performance? If they don't think you're playing very well, they don't pay you.
I think
can get away with.
I think it's to do with they ain't got the money. And I mean, the club that I was at, the president's just been done for match fixing. So
It's not very good at it if
But
he's not got the money.
I played in the game where we was losing 1-0 to a team called Ankara, and we scored in the last minute. So the ref's blown the whistle, game's over, 1-1. I've then seen the president running downstairs of this club, just run onto the pitch, bang to the ref in the eye. As the ref's on the deck, all the other board members of this club are volleying the ref. I'm standing literally 5 yards away from it.
You haven't getting the kick either, have you?
I'm thinking, what the fuck's going on here? Then we leave to go to the airport back to where we lived. Bus is getting bricked, everything, mad. But I'm like laughing on the phone to my dad saying, "Dad, the bus has just been bricked." And I said, "Did you see the punch? Did you see the punch?" Couldn't believe it. Mental.
I mean, I've not really heard many good stories from Turkey, have we?
No.
You must have had a few offers for a free hair transplant because we get them.
Do you?
Yeah.
No, I
So
can't
you
have
must-
one because of I got the bald patches in
Oh,
it.
so you still
Yeah. I, if I'm being honest, I wouldn't look right with hair now.
you can't. Can you imagine just turning out with curtains? Just
I mean,
all of
I
a sudden.
see pictures online, like there's like a picture of me, like when Jonjo Shelvey comes back from Turkey, and there's like just a long yeah, and I just laugh at the picture. Spanner, man.
Have you settled in all right over here? Obviously, we're in Dubai.
Yeah,
Settled.
I absolutely love it. The main thing for me was to be with to live with the family again, and I'm lucky that I found a team in Arabian Falcons, and I know the manager Harry Agambar very well. He's I grew up playing with him, but I didn't speak to him for like 15, 17 years, and I didn't realise he'd come on to be a manager. But like the level of detail that he has in football is quite similar to Eddie, and he's only my age. Do you know what I mean? So I can see him going far. He's a good guy, and in the evenings I do coaching from 4 p.m. till 8:30 with a guy called Leighton Mackay-Ellison, and the company's called Elevate, and it's really good. They're just trying to grow football out here and starting to take off. I think we've got like 120 kids now, so yeah, it's going really
Enjoying
well.
it.
Yeah, really, really enjoying it.
You've seen before you fancied.
Management.
Fancy
Yeah,
manager.
yeah. I mean, I struggle with the coaching kids because obviously I've got such high expectations and demands, but you can only try and help them and try and. I'm just trying to grow the brand of football out here and help in any way that I can. But yeah, it's a top place to live.
Perfect.
And you
mate.
can
Well,
leave
yeah.
it.
Top man, mate. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
thank-
Thanks for coming
appreciate
on.
it. Thanks
Thanks
for
for
having me on.
being
Cheers, mate.
so honest, open and honest with
appreciate
us as well.
No, I appreciate it.
Can we all throw a midfielder at him and see what boots he wears?
Yeah.
As a bit of a quiz test.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Kevin Nolan.
Pumas.
I want to think of
And
somebody.
Preds.
I want to think of somebody obscure.
Really test them.
Hmm.
Come on.
I don't know that many players.
I think you're the wrong man for this.
He's always been Nike, isn't he?
Yeah, but easy scores. And that.
Very easy.
Top 90s.
I can't think of no come.
Jacob Murphy.
Who?
Jacob Murphy.
Adidas F50s. He's not a midfielder, is he? Winger.
Oh,
We haven't tested him there either.
no.
I did play with him for
I know.
I'm thinking that. Fuck
Right,
me.
come on. Any suggestions? You do?
I'm going to go. Actually, I don't know. I don't even know what years these played in.
Miles Jedinak.
Ooh. He had Adidas Nitro Charge. Do you remember them? Do you remember them?
They sound fast.
You don't remember them?
No, well, I'm just so impressed that you've pulled that out of nowhere.
Then he went to Preds. He scored a free kick against Liverpool once. And he had a pair of green Preds on.
That is mad. I don't think you realise how impressive that is.
Yeah.
I've just got it's the same team. Jason Punchin.
Nike CTRs.
Gareth Barry.
Mate, he's sponsored by Adidas.
I don't know. Come on, Chris. You are a wank at this game.
Did you say Gareth Barry or?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was sponsored by Adidas.
David Silva.
F50s.
Well,
It blew my mind.
Who else is in the Premier?
Mastermind. Yeah, specialist
General
subject.
knowledge fucked. Who's in the Premier League? I don't even know who's in it.
No, mate. Brilliant.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Unbelievable.